So this is terrible lighting, but I'm way too lazy to get my ring light out right now. I've been away from YouTube for a little while just because I feel like I'm not very good at it. I prefer to stick to the TikToks, but then I get inspired to make videos like this. So welcome to my November TBR list, except we have a little twist. I'm gonna be using a random prompt generator to help me pick my books. I always see booktubers doing like TBR jars where they draw out the little prompts, but to be completely honest, I am way too lazy to write out each prompt, put it in a jar, and then draw. So I found a website online called the TBR Machine, and I think you just click it and it randomizes a prompt for us. I think I'm gonna try and put 10 books on my TBR because I have 20 books left to reach my reading challenge goal for 2023. So essentially I would need to read 10 books in November and 10 books in December. Now, do I think that's necessarily gonna happen? No, but a girl can dream. So I think I'm gonna do 10 books, and obviously I won't be getting to all 10, and there's also other books that won't be on this list that I definitely will be reading. For example, Iron Flame is coming out soon, and I 100% will be reading that. These are just gonna be 10 books to have on my radar that I hopefully will get to in the month of November. Let's get to it. So I have my little thing pulled up. I think I just click randomize. The longest book on my TBR. Okay, I'm gonna give myself a free pass and skip this one because, like I just said, I'm trying to reach my reading goal and there's no way I'm reading the longest book. I don't even know what that would be. So we're gonna randomize a new one. Read a book by my favorite author. Well, I have been doing an ACOTAR reread with my roommates because they started the series, and one of them is on Wings and Ruin, and I haven't reread that one yet. So I guess I could add that because Sarah J. Maas is one of my favorite authors. I think to start off safe, even though this is a long book, I'm gonna put A Court of Wings and Ruin on my TBR for the month. I probably won't read the whole thing because I try to stay at the pace that my roommate is at while she's reading it, and I know if I go at my own pace, I'll end up like flying through this in 2 days, but I at least will get around to part of this month. So we're going with A Court of Wings and Ruin for a book by my favorite author. For book number 2, let's see what the prompt says. Read a book released in 2018. Probably none of these. Also, if you see me looking down here, it's because I have a stack of books from my other shelf that I brought over here. So I know none of those were released in 2018. When was Red Rising released? 2014, so we can't do Red Rising. We have an Abby Jimenez book. I feel like this is more recent. 2022. This is proving to be a lot more difficult than I thought it would be. Fingers crossed for Then She Was Gone to be a 2018 book. 2017. Wait. I lied. Oh, it was 2018. It was 2018. Originally published in Great Britain in 2017. But then the Atria Publishing Edition is 2018. So we're gonna say that counts. Also because I read a Lisa Jewell book recently that I really enjoyed, so I feel like I'll like this one too. Although I have heard some people say this one's like really dark and kind of hard to get through. But we're gonna add it to the TBR list. Okay, that one took forever, so hopefully we'll get an easy one next. Read a book that's been adapted into a movie or TV show. I already know what I'm gonna pick for this because I've been putting it off and the movie comes out this month. We have A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which is the Hunger Games prequel. I know the movie's coming out like very soon. By the time you're watching this, it might already be out, and I just can't let myself watch the movie until I read the book. This is kind of a big one. Oh, 500 pages. So I may try to listen to the audio of this. Listen to an audiobook. Okay, well, since I just said that about that, I don't want to count it, but for my audiobook, I think I'm going to go with Matthew Perry's memoir. I did order a copy of it, but I guess it's in like high demand right now, and it's not arriving until like the end of November, but I can do an audiobook, listen to that. I've heard it's a good one to listen to on audio, and I'm a huge fan of Friends, so whenever I found out that Matthew Perry passed away, I was like really upset and distraught, and I've just been seeing so many TikToks about him and also about like things from his memoir, and I feel like it would be a really good read, especially since all of that is so fresh. I will be adding that as the 4th book. For our 5th book, let's see what it gives me. Read a book with red on the cover. Okay. I feel like this is my sign to do Red Rising. Not only does it have red on the cover, it has red in the title, and I've been hearing wonderful things about this book, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little intimidated because one, it's sci-fi and I don't read a lot of sci-fi, but I've also heard some people say it's very confusing and hard to understand. I've heard so many good things about it, so I feel like this prompt is a sign to add Red Rising to my TBR for November. Read the lowest rated book on my TBR. I'm gonna have to like go onto Goodreads for that. Actually, should I use another free skip? It's my video, my rules. I don't really want to spend time looking up. It gave me a book written by an author who's older than you. So that could literally be any book because I'm pretty sure none of these books were written by 21-year-olds. Recently got Killjoy, which is the little novella in The Good Girl's Guide to Murder. And it's short and I need more short books to help me reach my goal. So I'm gonna go with Killjoy. I'm assuming Holly Jackson's older than me, but let me look it up and double check. She's 30. Okay, so we are safe to add Killjoy to my list. I also don't know if this is considered cheating because it's a novella and not a book, but reading is reading. This will count towards my reading goal, so we're adding this one. Read a book that is based on a true story. This might be a stretch. Hang on, let me see. This one could be a contender. This is Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong, and the reason that I'm saying this could be a contender is because even though it's a fantasy, it is inspired by Shakespeare's Antony and Cleopatra, who Cleopatra was a real person, and I'm pretty sure Antony was too. Don't fact check me on my history. But I feel like I could make this count because I don't have a lot of nonfiction. I think I'm gonna go with Immortal Longings because this is one of my book of the month books from a while back that I just put off and never got around to. So 3 more to go. Read a book that will make me happy. Okay, this is a perfect opportunity to do an Abby Jimenez book. I think I'm gonna do Part of Your World. I read Yours Truly, which I later learned is in this series, but it takes place after. So I guess I kind of read it out of order, but I've really been intrigued to read this and I loved Yours Truly. It just like made my heart so happy and I feel like this one will do the same. Read the next book in a series you've started but not finished. Okay, so there's a lot here. We could go with Daisy Hates because I read Magnolia Parks last month. We could go with The Brothers Hawthorne because I read the rest of the Inheritance Games. Let me see what else I have. Things we hide from the light. I was definitely gonna go with Daisy Hates, but I need an excuse to read this. It's been on my TBR ever since the month it came out. Or wait, is this the most recent one? It's the second one. For a second, I thought this was the most recent one, but it's definitely the second one. As I was saying, I, for some reason, keep putting it off. I loved the first book, so I don't know why I'm so hesitant to finish the series. I've heard great things about it. Yeah, I don't know. I've been putting it off, and I feel like this is a sign to read it, but it's also really long. I'm gonna go with Daisy Hates, but then maybe I can add this on for whatever our last prompt is. For the last book, we have read a historical fiction. Do I have any of those? Yeah, I really don't think I have historical fiction, so we're going to randomize for another prompt. Book that intimidates me. I already put one of those on there. Oh, I know what I should put on there, but I really don't want to. I mean, I want to read this, but Serpent in the Wings of Night. I really want to read this. It sounds like everything I like in books, but it's so long. How many pages is it? Okay, it's actually not that bad. It's about as long as The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. It's about 500 pages. So I think I'm going to stick it on there. I've really been wanting to read this, and I think once I read this one, I'll be like sucked into, I think there's another book and a novella possibly. So I'm going to add this one. I know I said I'm only going to do 10 books, but I'm thinking I might do 12. So let's randomize for 2 more. Read the book that's been on my TBR the longest. I don't even know what that would be. There's so many. Oh, wait, I know what it is. It has to be Scythe. Here I was about to go through all of my shelves to try and figure out because there's so many, but Scythe has definitely been on my TBR, and I have the entire trilogy now, and I've not once tried to pick it up and read it. We'll see if I actually read it. And for our actual last book, read a banned or previously banned book. I know there's a lot of books that are surprisingly banned. I'm gonna look up a list of banned books and see if I own any of them. Okay, so surprisingly, all of the banned books I either already have read or don't own, so I'm gonna generate for another one. Read a book by an author who is now deceased. The problem is I don't know. So that's, once again, I'm gonna redo it. I feel like I've skipped a lot of these prompts, but read a classic book. See, I don't think I have any of those either. Okay, hopefully last prompt is actually gonna be something that'll work. Read a book I think I will rate 5 stars. Okay, well, a couple of these I already think I will end up rating 5 stars, but heard really good things about One Dark Window. I think I'm gonna go with One Dark Window, just because fantasy is my genre of choice, and I feel like most people who read this rate it very highly, so it's pretty likely that I will also rate it that highly. So that's gonna be our last book. Okay, so let's go through all the books that ended up getting picked. First, we do have Matthew Perry's memoir, which I will be listening to as an audiobook. We also have One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. We have Scythe by Neil Schusterman. Don't know if I'm saying that correctly. We have The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. We have Daisy Hates by Jessa Hastings. We have Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong. Killjoy by Holly Jackson. Red Rising by Pierce Brown. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. And my reread of A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. I feel like we have a pretty good lineup going on here. Hopefully, my goal is to get to at least half of these because, like I said, there will be other books not on this list that I definitely will be reading in November. So I will be happy with myself if I can get to at least half of this list, which is, I think, 6 of these books. So that's the TBR list. Let me know if you want to see more TBR things in the future where I either have like other people pick for me, or I do a poll, or I do the generator again, because I feel like that makes it easier for me to pick it out. When I have to pick it out like completely by myself, I end up feeling very overwhelmed. So this is a good way to like get some books on my radar that I maybe hadn't been thinking about, and also like ensure that I read books I've been putting off. If you do want to see more book-related content, you can head over to my TikTok page. I'll have it linked in the description. I post book content on there almost daily, as well as other content, and I'll also have my Instagram linked down below too. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and comment down below if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them, and also what books are on your TBR for the month of November. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys!